Do you want to update your streaming software? Yes, I would love to. Wait, why is it little now? What happened? Oh no! Oh, what the Dang it. Is this like transform? Oh, god damn it. Oh, scale to window, canvas. Hang on, YouTube. Oh god. Transform, rotate 90 degrees. Transform. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Click start. That's all I wanted to do. Click a start button. All right. Just a second. We're going to be tinting the front doors on this. Activate source. Oh, that worked. Okay, good job, TikTok. Now, activate selected. Oh, that worked. Wow. Okay, we should be good. It's amazing. You just leave something alone, and then you go to use it again. And then it's broken. Pressure. So, let's cross our fingers. What's up, chat? We got stuff. I think so. Things should be popping up here. We'll find out in a minute. We're gonna fill up our spray tank. Hey, it does work. How about that? So we're gonna clean this out. Should we give it a deep cleaning, or does it not really need it yet? Does anybody care? I suppose we could. It's quick. So if you get a spray keg, soap still will build up, even if you use a tint soap. This is what, like an 18 mil socket? So these straws, these are what go all the way to the bottom. So they come out really easily. We're just gonna give it a good rinse. So that looks fine, but like in here, don't waste water. But that's all we do. We spray a lot of water and we waste it. Landlord pays for water. So the only thing I get out of this one. If you make custom rugs, we'd love to do business with you. Is this like that girl that makes custom rugs and then just gives them to a business? I mean, you can definitely make us one. There we go. Got those, and then we're just gonna scrub out the inside. I got a bottle brush, I just don't use it. I don't find it's very good. Is it filtered water? I'd want it to be. It's clean water though. We don't have hard water buildup. We have city water. So I have a deionizer that I still need to get hooked up. You'll probably hear me say that for the next year. But I'll do this about once a week, maybe longer. So that looks good. Straws are gonna go back in. A lot of kegs are outfitted with just one, and then it goes right there. But we got two. Boom, boom. So we can do two connectors instead of just one. I got Pro Nano to show versus C2, 15 versus 15. I got the sample boards up front, yeah. I bought Lumar tint off of eBay. Do you think it's fake? Most likely. Lumar is controlled through Lumar. They don't have any private dealers. So anybody that is selling it third party is not exactly getting a killer deal on it. So if you feel like you got an amazing deal on some Lumar film, it's probably just whatever, especially on eBay. It's so easy to just say it's Lumar, roll up a piece of garbage film, throw it in a box and ship it to you because it's not going to show up in a Lumar box. Yeah, 65 bucks for 20 by 20 feet. Yeah, it's pretty cheap for Lumar anyways. Did you pay for shipping or did they cover shipping? What's your opinion on Union? I'm sure they're fine. I don't know much about them. I know the people, I just haven't really asked much about the film. They do the window tint school online programs. They also have an architectural program called Kepler. I like the name Kepler way better than Union though. Why are you taping the window? Because I am taking a perfectly clean, brand new Equinox rubber seal and I'm taping it for no reason. I don't have a good answer for you on this one. I just am. Tape helps keep the sides clean, but on a brand new vehicle with clean rubber seals, it's not really gonna do shit. It's just gonna be white now. That's it. I really like wasting material. We're tinting an Equinox today, and this is the first time I pulled in an Equinox and said, wow, it's nice. They did some really nice updates on this thing. It reminds me a lot of our Blazer because they did these vents, the interior. Look at this. Good job, Chevy. I like it. It's clean. It's a very nice refresh. Okay. I want to start a tint business. Do you have some advice? Advice is always difficult because I don't know anything about you. What are you struggling with? Glass looks green. All glass looks green. Pretty much. Pretty much all glass looks green. So, especially when it rains and you see water droplets on it. OEM glass has a natural, like, green color to it. Have you ever tinted an airplane? No, but I went to aviation mechanics school. And then I decided to not continue with my A&P. And I tint windows. I just don't know where I should start. Get some film, Get some tools and start with your own car. See, now we're getting somewhere. You can overplan everything. Best thing to do is just get some film tools and start with your own. Should I rent a garage? If it's within your budget, you need a space to practice. Is it here? Is it under the towels? Yay. How long did it take you to start your business? Let's see, I started tinting in like 2008. And I got a shop in 2020. I wasn't actually looking to start a shop. I didn't start it with that goal. I was just tinting or working at my dad's auto company, and then a window tinter that could do a shit ton of work, and he was the tinter for the whole company. Here we go. Let's roll this up. He quit to work for a competitor, and then they taught me how to tint. And I've been doing it ever since. I wasn't intending on being a tinter, but I just kind of like fell into it. How long before you were profitable? Well, I didn't start it really, I didn't start it with a bunch of stuff. So I already knew how to tint, and I had a couple mobile accounts. So I just did a really smooth transition into a shop. Oh yeah, we gotta put some soap. We're just doing front doors and a windshield, so I don't even need this much, but. One, two, it's like 2 and a bit. So we'll do 2 and a bit. Looks good. So I tinted for my dad's company for quite a few years. Then I went with a mobile company for about 5 years. And mobile is cool, but the way that I look at mobile, I think, is a little different than the way I hear a lot of people think about it. Mobile for me is just going from shop to shop. That's what I would recommend over getting a van and going from house to house. Because you can just do way more volume by going to somebody else's shop. They're gonna have more than one job for you to do. They're gonna have a recurring business. They can take care of the customers, sell the jobs, and then you take a cut of it. That to me sounds way nicer than driving 30 minutes to somebody's house, then you gotta do all the setup and stuff. Like, there's so much lost time in everything. You're like, there's just so much waste. So, you can absolutely, oh yeah, meter. We're gonna match the back. It's definitely in the 20 range, for sure. There's no way it's lighter. Shut up. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? That's 25? No, this tint fucks with me all the time like this. It says 20. It says 20 on the stamp, and then my meter says it's 25. Do my other meter. Let's see. Is the child lock on? Well, yesterday it said 15, and then I got the front at 15. We're just gonna get it then as close as we can. Yeah, where's the child lock? Okay, dude. We don't have to touch the child locks, but that's what I was looking for. 24, 23. Okay, okay. Yep, 20 is gonna be the closest that we got. It's gonna be a little bit darker. That's as close as we're gonna get. For as long as I've been tinting, I still like, dude, I'm like, oh yeah, this is for sure like 15 to 20, no problem. That's why I got a meter. Because I think I know until I put a meter on it. All right, we need to find a roll of film. C220. That's gonna be this roll here. Is this open? Or is it over there? This feels fresh. It's very fresh. This is C220. This one's also very fresh. Do I have a roll that has been opened, or am I gonna open another roll and then find a surprise? I feel like I'm gonna find a surprise somewhere. This feels like a tint surprise. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, did you see that? Watch the mirror. It thought I was a car. Aw, it didn't do it that time. The mirror started, this was the first time I ever see it. The mirror started blinking yellow. I thought I was a car. I actually probably thought I was a person. That's a beautiful shop. Thank you. What's the most expensive car you've ever tinted? That list is mildly depressing. I had a really expensive day. It was a DBS and a McLaren back-to-back. But most cars that I get are in like this range. It's like brand new loaded Equinox up through M series BMWs. Like we just did a BMW M5, the new touring edition, like hatchback one. So it's like, I'll get nice stuff, but we just don't see your Astons, Lambos, and Ferraris here. All right, so we're gonna tack these together. What tint do you recommend for DIY? The Amazon stuff came out so cloudy. Maybe the eBay Lumar will be better. No, stop shopping at shit places. You shop at actual like tint stores. Amazon and eBay, they just have resellers. And you're likely to, like, Lumar's controlled. The only people that buy Lumar are authorized Lumar dealers. It's not that somebody can't sell it sideways. They're not allowed to, but it wouldn't be hard to do it. It's just when you're selling it on an eBay, it's too expensive. You gotta take into account the, like, what, 12 to 15% margins that eBay is gonna take as a marketplace, on top of whatever Lumar is charging, which is like 50% above what I'm paying for like a roll of Geo. Where do I buy it if I don't have a supplier/distributor account? 313tint.com, we have it. All right, line this up, and then we're gonna roll it down. Tack it first, and then we're gonna roll it down. We should probably change this. Does C2 ceramic block a lot of heat? Yes, C2 ceramic used to be our entry. Or sorry, not our entry. Top. It was our top tier, and then they came out with Apex. So our lineup right now is C2 Carbon, C2 Ceramic, and Apex. So like actual spec numbers, it'll block out. It says like 80 something IR. It's a really, really nice film. I don't prefer Pro Nano. I love the performance of it. Working with it was fine. Little thick, but that was fine. It shrank amazing. But yeah, the coloring in a few of the shades is just, wow, that sticks so well. I don't want it to. Stop it. That is Geo compared to Flex Films. Oh, I like Geo way more than Flex Film. I used Flex Film a little bit more in the earlier days. There were some nice things to say about it, but they could never keep their offerings consistent. And nah, I just don't like the company now. There are too many cases where people would use their film. They would have a film failure, like a pretty bad film failure. And then they would basically just ghost the customers rather than taking care of it. If it just became too much, like they were just shit about honoring warranties. They would just stir up so much crap with other dealers. Not a fan. If you stick with them and you keep quiet, they'll be very nice. If you have an issue with them, good luck. Cheetah Wrap Tint? No, I wouldn't look at it. It's another wrap company trying to have a film brand. I'm always leery about that. There's only a handful of actual film manufacturers. So I'm not gonna say it's bad film, but they're what? A more budget wrap company brand? I expect their film to be the same way. It's like when XPEL became a window film brand. It's like, well, they're a PPF company and a software company. Now they're starting a window film brand, but they did not start a manufacturing facility to do it. So it's just, the more you pay attention, a lot of films become very similar. Cheetah Wrap is Feller's house brand. Oh, okay. So it's just gonna be Feller's. Yeah, still same thing. I wouldn't necessarily think it's gonna be bad, but a company like Feller's, I think they were distributing Avery Dennison. I got a different heat gun. I think it's either the cable or the heat gun that's going. Philly tattoo with a coin. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's just it's just too much. There's too many brands that sell whatever it is they sell, and then they want to start branding absolutely everything. So it totally makes sense for Feller's to have an in-house tint brand. But it's, okay, whose film are they using? been following you for a while, like your content. Could you give me some advice on how to shrink a hard curve? I've got a lot of videos. That's gonna be the best way right now. There's nothing I can say that's just gonna make a hard back window easy. Practice on something easier, learn how to do it, and then you're more likely to be able to tint a harder one. But yeah, everything that happens in the videos is the best way to figure it out unless I'm doing it in person. We're doing the windshield after this though. Do you think Amazon Tint is okay to practice with? Yeah, absolutely. There's one I recommend quite a bit, T-View. I have no affiliation with T-View. I would love to have some type of a budget practice film that made sense, but I'll let them take care of that. Do you dismantle plastic from the car to install tint? No, not typically. Only when something really gets in my way. I thought that was FedEx for a minute. Do you teach? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Oh, tint strip probably?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. I don't think it'll be a very big pallet.
He's got a lift gate and a pallet jack.
Nice. Those are our favorites.
Yeah.
That makes it easy. Bottom load is easier in my opinion. Yeah. But when you spent way more time learning how to two-stage and you didn't know bottom loading was a thing until way later on, it's still two-stage. Especially on a car like this. When a car is easy to tint without removing the seal, I would put this in that category. Where can I sign up? Our site, 313tint.com. That'll have more info on classes. We do a few different types. We have individual sessions, or like one-day sessions. And we have our 3-day course. Are older cars easier to tint? I wish. Older cars are way harder. There's too much shit in the way. They're old, windows roll down funny. There's just a bunch of extra things that make them way difficult. So they're cheaper to buy, harder to tint. Newer cars are always easier. All right, tuck this in. Tuck this side. Tuck that side. I'm gonna have to put my own film on Amazon one of these days. T-View. T-View. I'm asking because I recently made a tint with a... What? Oh, sorry, I don't quite understand that comment. Let's line that up. Dang, we need one of those. It's nice to see it actually went over the race deck. Can you tint a little faster? You're being too slow. I could, I just don't feel like it. What's the cost to tint windows on a car? Depends where you go and what car you have. So like what we're doing right now, front doors, full windshield, C2 ceramic, $350. Is there an easy way to slide the tint into the seal? I always get caught on the folds. We just did it. So you see this, see how we roll this in? I always make sure the tint is completely flat when I'm trying to tuck it into the seal. If there's a little buckle or an air pocket, like you wanna make sure that edge is not squeegeed flat, but you gotta make sure that it's just like completely flat, and then it'll slide into the seal. Now, you might have to like wiggle it a little bit. But that's the general idea. Would you say a windshield is more difficult than side windows? Yes. Windshields are generally the hardest. They're up to like the biggest scrutiny too, because people are always staring through it. Does bending it not crease the edge? Well, kind of like all the foldy screen phones, it can put a bend in it, but the idea is to do it really lightly. So you roll it, but you're not trying to put like a hard bend. So when we do touch-ups, we'll sometimes have a small spot to shrink, or sorry, to heat out. That's about it though. I want ceramic all the way around, plus windshield I haven't booked yet. That would cost a lot. Guess I should have looked at your website. Yeah, so we have estimated pricing there. You can message us. We can get you a official quote like super fast. Just like search Detroit Tint Studio. You can text that number. You don't even have to call us. You can text that number 24/7 and get a quote. Once you get the seal out, is bottom loading easier than two-staging? Yes. When you remove obstacles, that makes tinting easier. The whole reason it's difficult to tint this clean a lot of times is a few reasons. People are cutting their patterns wide, having difficulty tucking it into the side seals. So when you take one of those seals out of the way, it's far easier to tuck into the rest of them. Struggling with rear window tinting, especially being so low. That's pretty much how I've had to learn everything, is so low. We're gonna do a reverse roll on the windshield. The other method for the back window is Frankenstein. We have videos on both. How do you remove bubbles along the edge the next day? You strip and retint the window. Unfortunately, once you have little air pockets in it, it's generally dirt and little contaminants. There's no fixing it. How long does it take you to tint an average car? Well, at the rate we're going, we're gonna be about on this car for like a month. It's nice. I like it. Look, we did a whole window. Let's go do another window, I think. Why would you recommend for a car to get tinted? I don't. People keep calling and asking if they can get it, so I don't have to. It makes no sense. Let's make our glass less, let's cut down our vision. No, I'm kidding. A few reasons. Heat, privacy, security. Your privacy and heat are gonna be like the main two reasons that people like getting it tinted. It's easy enough to see through, harder to see in. That gives you privacy. And then we're doing a ceramic film that helps block additional heat. So when you're sitting there in your car, you don't feel the sun hitting your skin. It is a Chevy Equinox. It's nice. Would you, this is an I'm surprised. The shop is slick, thank you. How do you remove really old tint? Look up a video. Steamers. We just got a steamer though. We're gonna try this thing. This is a the pod pressure on demand system. I have a Jiffy steamer over there that I've used for a long time. It's okay. But we buy a lot of stuff from Fusion, and they also have those pressure steamers available. So I figured, hey, let's pick one up and check it out. How do you remove really old tint? Oh, I just answered that one. Yeah, steamers. Where are you guys located? Sterling Heights. Near 18 and Mound. Any specific type of razor blades to avoid? So for scraping, you can use any nice razor blade. You just want to make sure there's no like burrs on them. So any razor blade brand that I found is totally fine. They don't have to be stainless. They can be whatever, but you just scrape the surface. When you're cutting, those should be stainless, unless you're doing the top edge. I like to use 2 pieces of tape on the corner to pull the film apart. What's a better way? There's not really, like you just get used to a different way. So 2 pieces of tape, yeah, that is what they even recommend on the box. But you can use your teeth, like on the box of like a roll of film from AutoZone or Black Magic or whatever. But I'll either use my teeth or flick the corner. Have you had any issues with the UV coated Lexus? No, I haven't. Because I hardly get those. Like I just don't get many Toyotas or the Subarus. They're just not very popular around here. But you gotta treat that glass very carefully. It should have a stamp, but I just saw a post a couple weeks ago saying there's a Subaru that's got a collab with Toyota, so it's basically a Toyota. And that one also has that glass without specifying on the glass. In Germany, that's illegal. Oh my God. Okay, so when we're tucking it into the side, this is what I mean. You roll this and tighten it, but you're not trying to fold it. And then this is flat. You see how flat that is? and then it should slide. If it's not butting into any obstructions, then it should go into the seal. It can be illegal here too, but we still do it. So again, take this, roll it in, and then it's nice and flat. And look, oh, what? That's how it works. Land of the free. Yes, freedom to tint your car as dark as you want and still get tickets for it. It's illegal here in the UK, that's why I tinted my own windows. Nice. Yeah, so we don't have to tuck in very far into the seals, but you always want to make sure that leading edge is flat. If it's bumped out or buckled, meaning like there's a big air pocket somewhere that like you just want the film to like rest flat on the window, then it kind of keeps a little structure and clung to the glass, and then you want it as close to the glass as possible. And then it'll go into the side seal. You can still have sticky glass, really tight seals. Doesn't mean it's gonna be simple. Looking to move to Alberta where the front windows aren't supposed to be tinted. Could it still be a good business to start there? I have no idea. It could be. There are tinters in Canada. There's just not as many. Wherever there's people driving cars, there will be people tinting windows. But how viable of a business in every area, I have no idea. Oh, let me push this once. I tint in Ontario, but not sure how much they'll cut profit without the front ones. I'm in Alberta. I got my truck tinted. Yeah, I've got some people in Canada watching. It's illegal in Europe because the government thinks it's dangerous. Well, after watching Clarkson's farm, they think everything is dangerous. They're the country of red tape on everything. Like, holy shit, you can't do anything there. Do you know if you long press? Yes, I did. It forces the ignition on and it stays on for longer. We're just wrapping up this one. But definitely people in chat, keep that in mind because there's a shocking amount of people that don't know that. It's like a PC. That's probably why I figured that out. Is this would turn off every 5 seconds. So then okay, so power button for any of you, GM, so Cadillac, Chevy, Buick, all of these. Push button start, press and hold. Ding, and then it goes quiet. Sounds like nothing's happening, and then everything kicks on. So this is ignition mode. Not every brand does that. I think mainly GMs do. Any tricks on cutting a little easier, can never get clean cuts? Try the Sharpie method. drawing your sidelines, trimming the top, and then taking it to a glass board will make trimming outdoors way easier. Oh, it's a 40. I got the new nano carbon. I have to take a look at it sometime. Look at that. That looks so nice. Good job, thank you. Took me like 10 cars before my cutting is good. Oh yeah. Take your car, cut. Just try and cut out a ton of patterns. Is it this? No, this is probably a scuzzy one too. This one's probably fine. All right, let's prep the windshield. We're gonna be doing 50. How much do you charge for ceramic tint, all 4 windows? Just the doors? This is why I don't like when people count windows. I got 4 windows, how much? You don't want the back window? Oh no, that one, 5. Do you want the quarter windows? Yeah. So then 7. Windshield? Yeah, 8. Just the 4, dude. Do you have a card, dude? Dude. That was a funny typo, because that could have been either way. Ah, the sunroof. Panoramic, two pieces of glass. Front quarter windows, damn it. UK, the feds rip your tin off. Do they really? That's kind of funny. Here you can still get points for it. Not that they matter, but you can get them. Yeah, the EV stuff was the most surprising. Tesla made everybody go down this like all glass canopy. So like, there's always a trendsetter, and then a bunch of people follow. So Tesla put a bunch of glass and giant windows, and now if it's in an EV category, everybody else is like, oh, it's got to have a gigantic panoramic glass roof. Why? Silly. Do you one piece the Tesla long windows? Yes. We'll do both, but yeah, we'll either tint half of it. It depends on what the client wants. We're getting asked a lot more about just doing half. Where should I buy tint for business? 313tint.com. How much should it cost to tint? As much as you're willing to pay. It's a service. So prices are going to vary all over the place based on film and shop or person that you go to. You don't use a plotter for that? I don't use a plotter for any windshield anymore. There's just too much risk there. Cutting is not the most tedious part of doing a windshield. It's the shrinking and all the prep work. So I would hate to do that and then have the pattern be like slightly off. I've had that happen way too many times. So we've dabbled with windshield strips, and they've been all right, but we've had a few vehicles that it just didn't line up. And if that can't do a visor consistently, then we've got a problem with doing full windshields. But that's every software. I'm in Canada and I use GeoShield. Nice. Yeah, they do ship to Canada. Do you cut first or shrink first with Glass Aid? Okay, so the entire point of Glass Aid is to protect the glass. The white is nice as a guide, but there would be 0 point to having Glass Aid if you had already trimmed it ahead of time. So I'll squeegee it perfectly dry, Glass Aid it, and then wipe a dryer sheet over it. So I don't want to just drag a blade on glass anymore. There's too much risk there now. Replacements are incredibly expensive. Like what? I charged on a windshield $250, $150 to $250. It's just too expensive. Do you cut the tint before shrinking it with the Glass Aid? Yes. No. Sorry, no. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you? No, doesn't make sense. So with the Glass Aid, if you trim it and then you shrink, like, no, don't do that. Um, 50. I got 2 big old rolls of 50 here. When I shrink with it, I feel like the tape gets in my way. Well, it's raised. It definitely gets in your way a little bit. When we do classes, we teach on cars that you can cut on. So we don't recommend just using Glass Aid right away. Glass Aid's just a way to protect it. So when you get a little more familiar with shrinking and then you have to trim it out afterwards, like we don't care if you cut on those windshields, but on a customer's car, you just want to make sure you're doing something so you're not dragging a blade along the glass anymore. There's plenty of guys that still do it. They'll swear up and down it doesn't scratch the window. It's only a matter of time. Not fun. Suntech Carbon Series. Do they actually have a carbon, or is it a dyed film that they call carbon? Because that's typically what they did. And it confused a lot of people because they thought they were installing carbon. I haven't looked at a lot of their lineups in a while. Glass is not made as older car glass. I agree with that. Because I had an excursion the other day, and dude, they're definitely just a glass hardness difference. So in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, cutting on glass is just normal. There's just way too many things that can go wrong now, and it just seems to scratch easier. So not all glass is the same. So if you use stainless and you use light pressure, you're less likely to have an issue, but it doesn't mean that you're never gonna have an issue. Is T-View dyed or carbon? T-View is dyed, and that's a good thing. A cheap carbon film makes it harder to shrink. It's just the way that carbon film was when it first came out. Same for ceramic. Ceramics were rubbery, they were hard to shrink, and the clarity wasn't super good. But with improved processes, improved materials, money, they've gotten finer carbon and ceramics, and that's why clarity is better, but that costs money. So the cheap stuff, they're still using less refined carbon. Because they actually, like, they literally take powder and they put it in the film. So when those particles are bigger, which is where the term nano comes from, nanocarbon, nanoceramic, they're using nano-size particles. And those can be large nanoparticles, or they can be smaller nanoparticles. So if you look at like the description, if you look at the description of like C2 carbon, it said like they improved the process from like a 60 nanometer to like a 30. I have a question if you don't mind, thanks. Yeah, where's, are you gonna follow it up with a question? You use a red dot knife? I do. I like these a lot. So many options with Geo now. Yeah, and honestly, I think they should have some more shade options instead of film options. Let's do that. I don't. So I heard why they came out with another line of film, autofilm, and there's always going to be a market for it that I don't understand, but it's early on that film line. It's sitting over there right now. We have to check it out and try it. I just don't know where it would, like, we're not going to sell it in our shop because it just doesn't make sense for our customer base. But it's a little difficult. So you'd probably be more in the lines of like Pro Classic, nanocarbon, or sorry, is it nanocarbon? Nanocarbon is what they called it. I don't know. I think it's for a less expensive demographic that still wants ceramic. Kind of like what they did with V-Nano before. They had a cheaper ceramic called V-Nano, but the clarity wasn't there, so people didn't like it that much. Or some people didn't like it. It did pretty well overall, but because clarity wasn't as good, people would buy their ceramic, and then it would get a bad reputation, and they would just say, Geoceramic's not good. And it's like, well, they sell like four different ceramics. It got really annoying. They have nano and C2 carbon. Calling it nanocarbon just makes it confusing. Did the customer get mad about the acetone on the plastics the other day? I don't have acetone in this building. What the fuck? How did that, I know that. We took a light glass cleaner and wiped off the top of one of the door panels and then did the panel cover on it. Chat said something about acetone. What the fuck? The carbon series manufactured with carbon particles rather than dyed particles. Nice! That's what you want to see. So yes, they do have a carbon film. Good for them. They used to have one that they would call carbon that was dyed. And then you would ask them, and then their words were, well, it's got a carbon look to it. It was just kind of a sneaky way of trying to pretend that you had a carbon film so you drum up more sales on it. Every time I get to corner area, the film always wrinkles. We'll talk about that. Have you tried the nanocarbon? It's sitting over there. I've looked at it. I'm in a bit of a pickle with trying films. It's time. Then I gotta peel what? Do I gotta peel off my windshield? No, I don't want to do that. Like I gotta have the time to like put it on a vehicle and live with it for a little while. But the thing is, I also have like to sell jobs and tint actual cars. So I don't just want to take it and throw it on this guy's car without knowing what it's like first. That's where I'm always in a bit of a pickle. Maybe in the class. Maybe in a couple weeks of the class, we'll give it a good try. Oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. We'll probably try it in a couple weeks of the class. Then I got time. How many times have you retinted your personal vehicle? So many times. But it's the only way to live with something. It has to be done. I just wish if the film's peeled off easier, then I'd enjoy doing it. It's not a big deal. It's all the glue removal. Is that a felt squeegee? It's in between. It's got a double suede buffer. This is a pros card from Tri-Edge. So they have ones that are more flexible. This one has, I think, a good amount of flex without being overly stiff. But the suede buffer is really nice because if there's dirt in between the film and the glass, then this will just bounce right over it. It doesn't rip through the film. Have you tried a steamer to remove it? Sorry, as I slowly just twitch a little bit. Have I ever tried a steamer? I've heard steamers are a thing. I gotta get around to trying one. I think I literally have a TikTok of removing like 20-year-old tint on a 90s car using a steamer here on TikTok. It's a game changer. Okay, I gotta stop. Come on, why are you doing that? See that guy? You see that guy over there? You see that guy over there? And oh, what's this? It's another steamer. You may have tried one. 2012 Nissan Altima gave me a run for money. We actually use a 2010 for our class. The windshield is big and kind of curved. Okay, so top corners. See, we got these fingers right here. This is always what I shrink it to though before I card it. If it's like this, don't card up into it yet. So just this area that we shrunk, we're gonna card this forward. And then when we get to the edge here, you'll notice it starts to swoop. So that swoop, just follow that swoop, it goes out the edge. That flattens out this a little bit more, makes it easier to shrink. A lot of people, they're gonna take air pockets and they're gonna take these, and they're gonna push them up like this. You don't, you always wanna take this, stretch it out. Stretch out your corners. The most amount of curve is there, but effectively what we're doing, this is actually a really nice visual here. This is all shrunk. You don't need to take a heat gun to this anymore, but this, if we pull it, to flatten it out, which direction would we pull it? We pull it straight this way, right? This, if we were to just pull this wrinkle out, if it was a cloth, where would you pull it? You'd pull it in this direction. See? And it flattens out. So what we're doing with the card is we're just pulling it flat across the window. It's like the card is not shrinking it. The card is an organization tool. Very seldom have I seen these films look good long term. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Yeah, don't get cheap stuff. And go to a good place. It's because you've been going to a cheap place, Mike. How far away with the heat gun? It's going to be a little bit different depending on the heat gun that you use, but you want to watch what the film is doing. So I'll have the heat gun 5 or 6 inches away when I start here in the middle, and then it'll get a little closer and a little closer and a little closer when we get towards the ends. But you can control your heat with speed and distance. So you never just focus your heat gun in one spot. You always keep your heat gun moving. But when you need more heat, you just bring it a little bit closer and adjust your speed. So whatever heat gun that I use, I just turn it all the way up. Do you use the tape to not scratch or not use a light? Both. It does both. I know a mobile guy who is gonna teach me the skill. Excited to learn. Nice. That's super cool. But yeah, the main reason I use the tape is so I'm not taking this blade and just cutting on the glass. If I do that, scratch. You can use stainless, you can use light pressure. I do not care. You will have scratches. It is inevitable. Now, if your customer notices it or not, and not every window's gonna have it, but you absolutely will be scratching windows. I did so many tests. So like I tinted for a glass company for a number of years. They had spare windshields. So when I was looking into glass aid, every windshield that they would pull out of a car for a while, I was doing little scratch tests. And I'd try different materials. And I would honestly try to just use really light pressure, brand new blades, different types of blades, cut very delicately, and almost every single time, if it was in a black bordered area, so this is especially bad because it's a dark surface, scratches are bright white. I would do a delicate cut, and then I'd clean off the glass as nice as I could and look really close, and you could always see a very fine line where there was a scratch. So I got to try on a variety of different windows. Use a proper blade and you won't scratch it. Yeah, because I definitely must have just tried one, like I said. Dude, come on now. I will die on this hill. You're dragging metal on glass. You're 100% putting scratches in it. It's just hard to notice. What's the tape? The tape is called Glass Aid. There's still times you're gonna see me still cut on glass. If you're going for super precise cut, cutting on the window, easiest way to get that cut. But especially with how glass has changed and sheer cost going up, dude, it's just not smart. You always recommend to purchase a roll of T-View and practice. I followed your advice and it seems to be a decent film. It even blocks some heat. Be careful. Just be careful. It's really inexpensive. And I get it. I'm not saying you have to use Geo, but when you are saving so much money on the cost of your film, there's material compromises. There always is. So I'm not saying it's bad. I've lived through film failures. I personally don't want to go through another one. So if you priced it right and just gave proper expectations to people, there's no problem. It's when somebody says like, yeah, the film that I use is just as good as anybody else's film. It's like, well, that's not true. So I wouldn't try and build a long-term business off of it, but if with the right expectations, there wouldn't be a problem. Just like, yeah, I can give you a good deal, and we just don't carry a warranty on this film, but that's why the cost is less. I wouldn't care about that. I'm just not going to do that for my own business. What's your price on windshields? So this is C2 ceramic. This windshield is $200. Tinting the windshield is illegal in most states. The car owner is the one that would pay the fine. Absolutely. That's good. You should give a reach around to somebody on the live stream. We have a new tool. It's called the reach around. It's got a blade snapper. Why do Tint Tools have the wildest names? Mark helped with that name. I was gonna give it a more normal name, and then he was like, there should be a tool named the reach around. I was like, that could work. How long should I keep my glass up after tinting? Whatever the shop tells you. Typically, a couple days in the summertime, longer in the wintertime, up to a week. If it's installed right, you can roll it down right away though. But follow shop guidelines, because if something happens, they're gonna be the ones to replace it, and you don't wanna give them any reason to decline by like, I rolled it down because Matt said it was okay to just roll it down right away. I'm not doing your windshield. How long should I keep my, oh yeah. When did you start tinting? 2009? Ooh, this is snug. We'll see. I'm curious. I've had a hard time telling people they can roll their windows down right away. So I just say what everybody else does. Because you know what they'll say? I'll say like, oh, you can roll it down right away. They'll still say, no, I'll wait a few days, just to be safe. So I just had a harder time trying to explain it to people that it's like, if it's installed properly, you're not gonna have an issue. But I just follow regular guidelines, because then there's always little water pockets that need to dry out. And so they'll see that and get confused. Okay. If I can remove the mirror, I like to. We just did one yesterday. This one has the little video cable to it. I know it's this one. Is it this one? I feel like this one's big. Oh, no, that's it. Cool. Weird. There we go. A little stuck. How long does it take your tint rolls to come in? Where do you live? See, this is the one that I remember. Yesterday, Texas should be like 1 to 2 days. It ships out of 2 places, Vegas or Baton Rouge. So since you're in Texas, it'll ship out of Baton Rouge. Usually 2 days. 1 to 2 days. What about Cali? It'll ship Vegas, it's next day. There we go. Oh, they gave me an actual little clip this time. Good job. What do you think about high tech? I don't know too much about their film lineup, but they have good films. Minnesota. Yeah. Why haven't you hired somebody to supplement the tint work? Because it's what I do. Who's gonna do the videos? The guy that's doing the tint? Then that means I go away. Bye. No, it's a hard position to fill with somebody that actually has like consistently really good work. So it's just a tough position to fill. And expensive. And then I still gotta tint cars for content anyways, so there's that. Are you able to do heat rejection comparison between 70% Pro Nano and 75% C2 ceramic? I have to check. If I've got the 75. I have a samples book though, so I probably can. I don't know if I have a roll of the 75. We were using 70% Pro Nano until we were done with it. So I don't. Let me see. Hopefully I'll remember. But Pro Nano was in a different category all on its own. It was called Pro Nano Ultra for a little bit. Because it was basically Apex Ultra. And I don't know why, but that's pretty typical to see, is a very light ceramic film that just has better ceramic performance than the rest of the lineup. And then compare it to T-View. I'll see if I can find it. Let's get this windshield done, and we'll go from there. Good workers are hard to find, good paying jobs are hard to find too. Yeah, it's both. Does your throat get sore from the soapy water? Nope, can't say it ever has. Are the bubbles in my tint gonna go away? Yes, all will be fine. No, probably not. It's like the classic, it's the #1 classic tinter line to get you to go away. You go away, not the bubbles. I was like, that'll go away in like a month. That'll cure out. It doesn't. You'll know within a day or two what's gonna stay and what's not. In the wintertime, it could take a little bit longer, but generally speaking, like, you got something, it's not gonna go away. This is a slow, annoying way to clean a windshield, and is now becoming one of my favorites, though. I just don't like how long this takes. But I like that I can see each little strip here, because I can't tell you how many times, a little bit of adhesive up here, something down here, just something. Because you just don't feel it, you don't see it. Almost done. Why are we using a mini squeegee? It's a mini razor blade scraper. So I looked at this and I was like, how long can I take on this? Metal for scraping is great. Metal for cutting on glass. But it works so well. Like, I noticed it actually squeegees the water off really well. I want this, somebody combine these, because this dulls really quickly, but if it's clean, it does a really good job of like rough scraping a windshield. This does a better job. Maybe just 2. I need a razor blade holder for 2. And then I can scrape it twice as fast. Okay, everything is cut, shrunk, scraped. Now we squeegee with my reach around. They make them. They don't, though. I've looked. There are 3. I'm not going to have this conversation again. They're too thick. They're not. The scrapers aren't the same. We'll see about making something. Maybe we can do it, but I would like them all to be one piece, not necessarily like two separate blades, but maybe it's okay. It's not every day you see a reach around on YouTube. You're allowed to tint your entire windscreen in your country. No, but we made our country out of spite, so we still tint things out of spite. You're not allowed to do that. Well, fuck you. That's how America was born. Right? That's our story. Makes sense. 100%. All right, it is go time. Is there a difference, comfort going from a visor to a whole windshield? You actually do them for two completely different reasons. The visor is for your, cuts down some light that comes in because you do like a 5% strip. So it just feels like your visor's down all the time, which is kind of nice. It's really for that like high afternoon sun. But a windshield, you're gonna be doing in a lighter shade. So that's more for a little bit of privacy slash heat rejection. So people still get both. And it's definitely not weird to do a full windshield in like even as dark as a 35 and still get a windshield strip, because a full windshield isn't gonna darken up that late afternoon or that early afternoon sun to where you're like you don't need sunglasses or you don't need to put down a visor. We have 50 on our windshield. We still put our visors down regularly. But we wouldn't live without it because it's just so much more comfortable to have ceramic. My friend uses a film specifically for windshield that hides contamination and shows 0 bubbles. No. He's just good at installing film. No magic there. There's no magical film that'll just hide a bunch of bubbles. It's just he's really good. Your price on GeoShield C2 Ceramic 24 by 100. You can check the site. Offhand, I don't know. I tried this method outside. It collected a lot of dust particles. Well, I'd say anything that you try outside can collect a lot of dust particles. You're outside. But if you've never tinted with a reverse roll before, it takes practice. The first handful that I did, I had to kind of teach myself, and I learned little things that helped make it a little bit more controlled, cleaner, better, and now it's a lot more consistent. And people that learn this early on tend to do this over everything else. But it's like bottom loading versus two staging. If you're used to bottom loading, and then you're trying two-stage, you're just gonna go bottom loading's way easier. But when you get really familiar with one of them, you're just gonna be more inclined to do that and better at doing it. I love reverse rolling. The first time I did it, it was just dealing with the speckles. It was so much, so I had been Frankenstein installing back windows for at least like 7 years before I even tried reverse rolling, because like nobody had a good video on it. Somebody would set a phone in the back seat and like, this is how I reverse roll, and like the footage was like half blocked, like you couldn't see shit on what they were doing. So I asked for people's advice on it. I posted some videos a long time ago and kind of taught myself how to do this. But the very first time I did a reverse roll, it's just so much smoother for one person to install this way than trying to Frankenstein a whole windshield by yourself. It's more controlled. I don't have a brake light in my way. And the biggest thing versus a Frankenstein, like, so if I'm soloing it, is one person can do this and make the film look completely smooth. Frankenstein, it's so easy to put some little creases in the film. So it still takes practice. Still takes practice. I shrinking a cord, and when I get passenger door, there's still bubbles. If fingers are still popping up, an Accord has a surprisingly curved door for what it looks like. You just aren't shrinking the whole picture there. You're shrinking some of it, but not quite enough. Try and make the fingers bigger. It would be my advice on that one. Looks good. Ooh, we need a, see, I always remember at this point, if I already have a strip and I want to do the rest of the windshield, can I just tint over the strip? You absolutely can. It's better to remove it. It just looks cleaner because you're going to have a little white line where that strip is. So let's say your strip comes to here. You're going to see the air gap where the tint overlaps that strip. So it's better to remove it, but it's your vehicle. You'd probably be the only one that notices it. This guy. The squeegee with no name. Yeah, I like this a lot. It actually helps with one of my own issues too. We'll get them in the store eventually. It's nothing special though. It's a putty scraper or something with like a felt strip. We did some digging, but they're not hard to find. So you can put one together yourself. We'll put them in the store though. But I really like that. It spreads everything out. It doesn't squeegee your window out for you yet, but it helps kick a lot of the air out. And then when you go to squeegee it, you don't have to be so concerned with big air pockets coming back. And sometimes like because you're lightly squeegeeing out the window, it would be a little bit easier to identify if you had like a big hair or something in your windshield. So instead of just like hard pressing and pushing that into the glue, be more likely to see that ahead of time and then save your work. I tinted a Mustang, lifted out in the sun, bubbles started to appear. Was it along the rear defrosters? Mustangs have really big rear defroster lines. They're kind of like Chargers. Clay bar the defrosters ahead of time, but I always install those back windows with the rear defrosters on to avoid anything popping up. But mostly has to do with a little bit how it's shrunk and air feeding back into those defroster lines. Do you hand cut or use a plotter? I do both. Yes, peanuts, I sanded the defrosters, but I still popped up. Did you leave the defrosters on when you installed the film? That's the best way to avoid it. I don't think sanding, like clay bar, it can help, but try turning the defrosters on. That was a surefire trick. I had that issue with Chargers. So Chargers, Challengers, 300s, and Mustangs. I don't think the brand new Mustangs have the same problem now, because I just did a couple of them and I didn't do that. But the previous one, like 3-4 years back now, I think, I don't know. They're going through some changes right now. But the thing for Chargers was they had really thick defroster lines. So even if you like clayed them, that can help. But what would often happen is you install the film, squeegee it out like normal, and then you would have little air pockets popping up along the defroster lines because those defroster lines are so big that it's just an air tunnel. So it's letting air feed back into the window, and then wherever you have a spot of compressed film, so it's not shrunk perfectly smooth, that air pops up a little air pocket. So that's why I say it has a little bit to do with how you shrink. The more even you can shrink, the more you minimize that from happening. And then the weird one, I didn't figure this one out. This credit goes to Rick. I was having this issue, and he was like, oh, just turn on the rear defroster lines. And they got to get hot, and you got to do it before the film's on the glass. So while I'm cleaning the back window, I turn on the car, turn on the defrosters, and then by the time I'm done cleaning that back window, the defroster lines are really hot. So you have to be a little bit quicker about installing your film. But squeegee along like this, along the defroster lines, and then you shouldn't have, you might have like 1 or 2 little things pop up, but you shouldn't have like a bunch of stuff pop up. I did what you're saying, but I had no matter what, just peanuts appeared. Then, I don't know. It would be the film or the glass. There's just something with what you're working on. Those are the only fixes that I know. We got one little speck. What tint do you use? GeoShield. I know somebody that can do it cheaper. There's always somebody that can do it cheaper. I wish that would fix. I honestly wish that was a fix. If you could just price yourself so competitively. But that's never the case. You can price yourself more competitively and you'll still have people saying you're too expensive. There's always somebody that can do it cheaper. Do you like C2 carbon and C2 ceramic? Yes, those are the ones that we carry. Where do you get your film? From Geo. We're a distributor for them. What do you think about the Graphtec C8 8000? I'm not familiar with the C8 line personally, but it's a Graphtec. It should be fine. Graphtec are workhorse machines. Ooh, there we go. Can you stay at night with the tent? What, are we camping? Did you pick it out? I hope so. I felt it. Just came to get ignored. Yep. Where can I get a similar garage? That was your comment. I built this. So like the space, you just find a big open space and you rent it, and then you pay to put everything in it. All right. Did we save it? Ooh, that's good. Gift it to me for free, bro. Sure. Yep. Can you pick specs out of doors as well? Typically, no. And even that is very risky. So things that help, this is a brand new car and I have space along the sides. Plastic, a lot of space up here between the felt, or between like the cloth headliner and this. So what I did before was spray, squeegee around, because I'm trying to make sure that when I lift this, there's nothing that's feeding back into it. See, we got a little speck here. This one I would say is probably gonna be fine. But to illustrate a point, let's try and wreck our whole windshield and then regret it. So I'm gonna lightly squeegee out around here, and then I got a speck here, so I'm gonna keep my eye on that. It's off to the side. You're not gonna get them 100% perfect, but we should be able to get it pretty good. I wanna get it where I could see it, which now I don't know where it is anymore. Oh, it's right here. I can feel it right here. So, spray water, brush it away, and then I'm gonna flush more water than I would like, because you basically have to rinse around it. We'll see, hopefully we took care of it. But I don't like to do that. Every time you pick the film up, there's a chance for, like, you create a little vacuum, right? And that pulls stuff in. And then if you're not careful, just a little drip could just pull trash right into your work. So if I'm gonna touch up something on a windshield, it's gonna be almost impossible if it's down here, because then I have to pull the entire windshield back to try and get that and flush it. It's so difficult. If it's up here, it's a lot easier. Somewhere in here, not ideal, but still possible. But a lot of it depends on the windshield that you're working on. But a door has seals all around it. And I don't know, no matter how much I seem to clean the top edge, like even on a frameless, if I got a speck in my window, and it's frameless and I pull it back, I'm still somehow getting a bunch of little speckles back in my work. Like, it's more possible on a frameless. It's just really difficult. You really have like one shot. As soon as the tint is on the window, it's very challenging to then lift it back and brush something out of it. But the types of things that I'm gonna brush out of it are gonna be on the larger side. So if it's just like a handful of little speckles here that's buried in the glue, those are stuck, those aren't coming out. If it's a big hair, that's great. I can feel that hair and usually just brush it very easily off the glue. And same thing for like if there's a big speck in my film. A bigger speck, you can usually find it and just brush it out and it knocks out really easily. But the small stuff, like the really thin dust hairs, they can like bury themselves in the adhesive. But I don't know why this happens, but it seems to happen to everybody. A lot of times you'll just get those little imperfections and they're gonna be like right in the driver's line of sight. So if that same size speck was here, would probably, like I wouldn't be happy about it. And I'd be more inclined to just try and fix it, obviously. But because it was there, if I didn't make it go away, I'd probably be redoing this windshield. It's always a tough thing to do. Like, damn it, over that. I have a pair of tweezers in my pouch for that. Works awesome. That's cool. I should try those. That's something that I haven't picked up yet. I like being, like, cause a lot of times I can't see it. Or I have a really hard time trying to like see where that spot was. But if I could see it, I should get a couple pairs of tweezers. I've seen them for like PPF and stuff. They seem pretty cool. Is it normal to have tiny water bubbles? Yes, but water goes away within a few days. So if it's been hanging out there for a little while, it's probably not little water bubbles. There's water pockets, which are translucent, and then there's little water, or there's little air pockets. What if your pocket appears, it's not like a spot, it's like a V, and no matter how many times you go over it? It sounds more like a crease. Have you and your family had a chance to go to Cedar Point in this year? No, we'd like to though. We'll put my 1-year-old on something. Actually, she would have a good time. Can she go on Millennium Force? How did you get customers starting out? Existing. So, I mean, I started with a YouTube channel that helped, but the majority of our business is not people that have seen the channel. But it does bring in some people. Social media, I'd say, is probably the least. No, not the least. It depends. It 100% depends. Social media is really good, but it's so hard to stand out. So you got to put time and effort into a post and hope that it's interesting enough to actually pick you up business. And a lot of times, it's just not going to be. But ads are the most effective. They're not even using our website. They're using like a funnel website, which I want to play around with, but I get distracted. But Union Agency or whatever, the same company that does the window film school, they're doing our ads. And we get a bunch of leads every day from it. The types of leads that we get are decent. It's not like we get a lead from it and for sure have a job, but it's in the warm area. So somebody that is looking around in our area that just calls us off of maps, depends. They're typically a pretty decent lead. But still a lot of price shopping. People that go to our website, we still get people that are price shopping. Referrals are always the best. So friends, family, and people that you've done work for will refer somebody, and those are people that typically do not shop around. They're just like, yeah, my buddy went here. But if you want a surefire way to just get leads, Google Ads. Google Ads to a funnel page. I'm an introvert. I just hate that I have to call 99% of the time to get a quote. Not us. You can text us to get a quote. We automated our quoting process. So like you can still call and talk to us, but a lot of people just want to find a price and availability. So we have our booking calendar on our site, and you can book right from there any of the available appointment times. And then we just automated a lot of it. Had good success with Facebook ads to instant form. Nice. Facebook ads are definitely good. I'm gonna get this. Yeah, ad platform 1 is going to be Google. Ad platform 2 is going to be Facebook. The biggest difference between Facebook and Google is Facebook is like billboards. So your creative matters a lot more. So that means like if you just have a boring post with no offer or whatever, then it's less likely that you're going to book a job from it. People are just going to scroll past because they're uninterested. Google takes a lot of the creative out of it in the first click through. So everybody is kind of on the same playing field with text fields. So it's this place, window tint, whatever, like their ad, boom, link right there. They're paying for that placement. And they're a lot more direct. So typically the people that are searching on Google are more intentional about getting a service done instead of just scrolling past a post in Facebook. Is it family owned? It's owned by me. It's my shop. Do you hand cut for the stream? Yeah, absolutely. I hand cut for the stream and I plotter cut for the stream. We do both. Same thing for regular cars. I do whatever is going to put out a better job. So this is a good example. Usually does really good with quarter windows. Would plot this one just fine. What even was that? I didn't even tint the back, and there's already like a rubber sliver there. This more tedious to hand cut. It's just quicker with a machine. Windshield, hand cut. Front doors, rear doors, hand cut them. Do you know for Teslas? Tesla's has a lot of glass inconsistencies. So plotter sometimes works out really well, and then sometimes it's not. So it's faster because they're frameless. It's usually a little faster to do them all off of the plotter. But you're gonna get typically a better fit by hand cutting it. How'd you get into tinting? My dad owned a auto accessory shop. He wasn't ever a tinter. He's always been more of an operator. So I was there doing other accessories, mainly detailing back before detailing was what it is today. So like ceramic coatings weren't really a thing, or at least much of a thing. It was basically just vacuuming and washing and scrubbing cars. And then I was learning remote starts for a little while. I did all the bolt-on accessories, so like tonneau covers, step bars. I was getting into glass replacement some, so I could replace door windows. Did probably about like 20 to 30 windshields. That was a grind. And then we had a window tinter. He was good. He was a typhoon of window tinting. That dude could tint 8 cars a day solo. And he would just, like, all the scraps were just on the floor. At the end of the day, he would just, like, broom everything up. I don't know how he didn't slip. But he was really good. And then he quit to go work for a competitor, literally across the parking lot, but they had a bigger chain of stores that he was going to start a program for. And then my dad had a business partner, and his son knew how to tint. So he came in, and I learned from him over summertime, and then I was on my own. Do the Fusion handle squeegees fit inside the? Do the Fusion squeegees fit inside the Blue Max handle? Blue Max. Wait, what? What handle? Blue Max doesn't have a handle. Are you talking about like the metal Unger ones? Fusion has a handle. That's the black handle that we like using. That's this one. But do you ever leave tools in customers' cars? No. That's crazy. Crazy talk. Dude, I'm good about tools. These seat covers are so nice that I keep forgetting that they're there. They feel like a seat. So I'm looking at the glass and anything that I might have to touch up. But see, they don't move. They're so nice. They're so nice. Like, look, this little hoodie goes right over the top. They stay in place. You sit down, you can wiggle your butt around, you can fart on it, doesn't matter. You're not doing any damage to the seat. And then they just pull on out. So I keep forgetting those. And then a customer comes back in and is like, hey, you forgot your seat cover. But if anything, that's a good thing, because then they're like, thank you for protecting my seats. I have a Blue Max squeegee that I got from a class, but I want some squeegees from Fusion. Yeah, we sell all those Fusion squeegees. 313tint.com. I'll show you which ones are the best. This one. This is the hybrid. This is the best one that they have. Really, really nice material. We use the Pink Clean for cleaning. Soft squeegee. It's nice for bumping out bubbles though before you use a harder squeegee. This is kind of like a medium squeegee though. This isn't really like a super hard one. But a lot of people compare, those are torches. Let's not blow anything up. A lot of people compare this to this. These are completely different. Like look at the shine on the hybrid versus this one. This is more of a rubbery squeegee, still a very popular choice. Hybrid, just different material. They're made completely differently. So this is most popular all-around crop squeegee from Fusion. This is probably the most popular squeegee that we sell. The hybrid, I like it the best. You can use either side, doesn't matter. So when one side wears out, flip it over, use the other side. And then the softer ones like the Clear Max and the Pink Clean, I use those. But they got a few more. The Flat Out, where is it? Got so many. Yeah, this one. Flat Out. Flat Out's a really good one. It's a harder version of the Orange Crush. And then some honorable mentions, I just don't use them, is gonna be the Red Line. See the Red Line? It doesn't look shiny because they have this little, but it's not rubber. It's like a injection, or not it's not injection molded. It's an extruded squeegee. These are injection molded. Injection molded, extruded. So there's just some feel differences between them. But hardness will basically go like this. Pink, orange, yellow, then red, and then they just came out with a new one called the Blue Beast. What camera do you have on your chest? It's a phone. Look. See? It's an iPhone. This is like what, the 14? I think the 14 Pro. Should I get some labels? Oh, that was the. I should get some labels. I'm really bad at just organizing things though. So like this is my door window drawer. So blades, squeegees, that kind of stuff. This is all the back window tools. It's so cluttered right now. Like every spare, these tail fins, spatulas, dryer sheets, Libmans, and all the oddball back window tools that I use every once in a while, but I hardly use. We've got some hand jobs in there. Trying to be better about it. It'll get organized, and then within a couple of days, see, I just naturally do this. Is the green spatula on the website? No, not yet. We should put it on there, though. It was new, though, so I wanted to make sure everything held up. So making sure that this didn't just peel off, making sure that it slid well. It's great. It's like I use this on pretty much every back window and front windshield now, just to spread out the film. Yeah, that's been nice. I like it a lot. That Static Rocco with a heart, thank you. I appreciate that. How would I know if the handle from the Blue Max would fit the Fusion squeegees? How, like, I don't know. I don't know what handle that you have. Fusion squeegees are all 1/4 inch thick, so you could check the thickness of it. We have a few different handles. We have a metal Unger one, less popular. We have these Fusion ones. They obviously fit that, but there is a less expensive handle that we have that looks like this. And this will fit the Fusion squeegees as well. Basically, if it's any clamp style that this tightens, it'll fit a Fusion squeegee. A Blue Max is basically the same dimensions as a Fusion one. The only thing about the Blue Max one is that for a long time it has been discontinued and copied in China. So the thickness on the Blue Max squeegees, even though they'll say made in America, will likely be Chinese. Mr. Clean, with the 499 coins. Thank you. I really appreciate it. We need the tint brush on 313. No, appreciate it. Just buy it from whoever's selling it, though. We're not going to be selling them. They're too expensive. I don't know who sources this, but like they're like, I don't know, they were retailing for like $40, but then I would see people post it from like AliExpress or something for like $4. So I don't know the source for it. It's going to be a pain in the butt to try and source and ship these things. This is what I'm using just for window tint, though. I've seen it used for like PPF and stuff. So just buy it from whoever is selling it already. I think Tint Buster has them. Are they actually any good? Been watching a shitload of your videos. Very cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are they actually, what, the tint brushes? Yeah, so like Korea Tinter, I would try and support him. But like all the way putting it here in a US store just like makes it more expensive than it should be for what it is. I like the idea, but this got me. Okay, let me show you. All right, let me bring them out to the front here. See, we got tools. And then this guy right here. So this was the literally the path that we went down. Pink Clean is what I used for quite a while. And the idea here is not just this cleaning squeegee, but when you put your film on the glass, especially when it's extra curved, a soft squeegee helps smooth out the film. So, you know, there's that little shift as you're trying to squeegee it out, but you want to line it up. So this effectively helps you light tack it to the window, smooth the film out, and still be able to kind of shift it around and line it up. Without pressing hard. So I really like that. And then Mark came in with one of these. This is an old tool called the whale tail, and this does not come with a fabric strip on the front or like a squeegee tape or whatever this is. So he put this on here, and then we realized it's really, really good for sweeping out all the bubbles like this was doing, except it's way wider. Right in that timeline, we tried a tint brush. What we like about it is it does the same type of thing. What we don't like about it is this. Tint brush will get the majority of it all pushed out, but this is thicker. So when it comes to the very bottom, that plastic isn't gonna quite get all the way down depending on the windshield that or back window that you're working on. So in efforts to try and find kind of something in the middle, we stumbled across this, and this, I can't see a reason to use anything else. This is slim profile, goes all the way, look at that, it'll go all the way. Look, how far down is that? I didn't think that would go that far down. But yeah, apparently there's so much space down there. This go all the way down into that front lip or back of a windshield or back window, and does all the same stuff that the brush or the whale tail does. We just like the size of this a little bit better. I like that this has a longer handle reach, but it's such a like unpolished POS looking tool. Like this is how it ships. Look at it, like it's all scratched up. That's just how they are. Like it already looks worn out and used, and then it comes with the bolts detached from it, so you have to assemble it yourself. So that's kind of the path that we took. So we'll put these in the store. These will be, this, you can also, it's like a putty scraper with a felt thing on it. We're gonna have these in the store for anywhere between like, I don't know, $6 to $10 probably. You can find them on Amazon right now, so you don't have to wait for us. We'll get around to doing it though. But I don't know if we get a move on, they'll be in the store soon enough. Do you have anything to keep a car battery from draining while in auxiliary mode? I do. I have a jump box. I don't always use it, but I do have a jump box. Will a scrub pad last more than one car? Yeah, for sure. If you use the scrub pad for like something aggressive, like adhesive, you're probably not going to want to just use that anywhere else, though. What's it called on Amazon? Like a putty scraper or something? Look up like a 10-inch putty scraper. So that's like literally, this was surprising to me too. I was like, oh, this is wider than this. Nope. Nope, they're the same. And this, yep, they're the same. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna hop up here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.